I'm not sure
Am I recording?
Yes, you're recording right now.
No, that's all right. They're only talking nonsense. Go ahead.
So I pulled out the bag, right? And I started to use the bag, and then I thought I had to get scissors.
But what about the pot?
So I
Because
thought
that was riveting.
Right, the pot. So I pulled out the first pot, and the pot was too small. So then I decided that I need to get a larger pot. So put everything in a larger pot, put it all in, and put the water. Make sure the water covers the top of the edamame because that's very important. So I put that on the stove, right? So I'm sitting down, I'm having my coffee, and I'm watching Project Runway from 2005, the first one, season 1's finale. So I'm watching that. In the middle of the finale, all of a sudden I start hearing. I thought, the edamame is spilling over. Oh noes. Oh noes.
No wonder why you were late today.
Yes, that's why. So I went inside and I lowered it a little bit.
You walked all the way in
the kitchen. It was a huge kitchen, right? So I walked all the way to my enormous kitchen, all the way to the stove, and I lowered the heat a bit. And I put my finger in the water, and I thought, okay, it's warm. It's
warm.
Cool.
It should have been hot.
It was not hot yet. I could put my finger in it.
I thought it was boiling with the.
It was starting to, but something was going on. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite that technical. So I lowered the heat a little bit and put it on a nice soft simmer. And I sat back down for a while. And then I had a second thought, and I thought, I should stop. Because if it starts to boil over the minute it boiled and the edamame is warm, right? So edamame should not be served warm. It should be served cool, right?
I disagree.
And dry. So that the salt will not, what's the word?
Run off it.
Not run off, but it dissolves. Thank you, Daddy.
Hold on.
That's why Daddy said dissolved. That's why he's my daddy, because he's smart and he knew the word that I was trying. He reads my mind. We're connected. So anyway, I went inside and I said, you know what? I think I should just turn it off completely, and that's what I did. So then I thought, well, if I
doing a lot of thinking.
So then I thought, well,
there's a lot of work for a bunch of edamame. No.
So I thought, well, if I take the strainer out, that's like another dish I have to wash. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to let it sit for a little while. I'll pour as much of the water out as I can now while it's hot. You know, I have to be careful that it didn't burn myself. It's quite dangerous to make edamame. Just letting you know. So anyway, I then decided that I was going to leave it sit in the sink because I didn't want the water to spill and to make a mess. I don't like messes. So then I decided, why are you laughing? So then I decided that I just let it sit. So when it cooled off, the water was cool, right? So I could just take my whole hand after I washed my hands, of course.
Oh, good, thank you.
Sanitary is very important. So then I took my hands, I put it over the pot, and I went like that. And you have to shake it. The shake is very important because that gets any water that may be trapped within the edamame. You shake it like that, and then the what? What? Those beans, those fucking beans, those fucking Asian beans. I'm sorry, you didn't hear that. Those effing beans. So you take those beans, those heavenly rainbow flowers and love beans, you shake them like that, right? And then you take them and you put them in the bowl, and then you take, this is the secret, so don't tell anyone. You take paper towels and you dab them. And you put them in the container. But you don't want them to be completely dry.
This is her Thanksgiving contribution.
Yes.
This is your Deneen imitation?
Yes, it is. So you do. It's exhausting. Can I get a paper towel to perspire a bit? Anyway, you just let the beans, and you want to keep them slightly moist. Do you want to know why?
So the salt sticks.
This is why I'm smart. Because
Look at the camera.
You take
Look
it.
at the camera.
There you go. Take credit. Okay.
Okay. So then you leave them and you put them in there. And then when I came here, I said to my mother, I said, do you have sea salt? Because my vision was that I was going to have chunky sea salt all over them. The motherfuckers didn't have any sea salt. What kind of establishment is that? That's why I'm in therapy, because there was no sea salt.
Here you go.
Thank you.
So use the sea salt.
I couldn't find any.
Anyway, so I just put regular
that
salt.
that was sea salt.
But I wanted the chunky sea salt. I wanted the chunky sea salt. There was no chunky sea salt. Tell them there was no chunky sea salt. Tell the camera there was no chunky.
There was no chunky sea salt.
Okay.
Tell them how upset I was.
Pamela was quite distraught.
Yeah.
Oprah was distraught.
Oprah.
Thank you.
Oprah was quite
So
distraught.
anyway, peace, love, and happiness, rainbows and flowers. Enjoy your edamame. Ciao. Happy Thanksgiving. Cooking lesson is now over. You can turn it off. Thank you.